Here it is. Southside Chicago, Windy City residents run off immigration agents to save a man mid-abduction on 63rd and Costner Avenue.
La migra!
Legally, Chicago Police Department can't arrest federal agents if they're breaking the law. I mean, but they are. They're doing it all the time. This is one of the things that I've talked about with respect to what like ICE is doing. A lot of what they're doing is on shaky legal grounds. Like, of course, they are abiding by the wishes of the federal government, but the warrantless apprehensions and the fact that like they're engaging in what the ACLU calls is operations in constitution-free zones, 100 miles from airports, all international airports, and 100 miles from every border that the United States has, which of course means a population of 70% of Americans, like an area of operation. Technically, what they're doing in many of these instances, like regular detainment for after racial profiling, like all of that is illegal. And they know it's on shaky legal ground. And that's precisely the reason why they're doing it while they're masked. They lie about being cops. They're not cops. ICE is not police. Like, it doesn't matter if they're wearing a vest that says police and then underneath it says ICE. Like, they're not. They're ICE. They're Customs and Border Patrol. And it is actually an illegal detention when they apprehend an American citizen. It's in this weird legal gray area. Obviously, it's morally repulsive, but it's a legal gray area, which is precisely why like DRS of this sort, until they decide to further prosecute this, are sometimes successful. The difference between the Korean student in Colombia and Mahmoud Khalil or Mohsen Mahdawi was the fact that they actually apprehended those two, whereas they couldn't apprehend the other person because they just couldn't find her. They tried to, but I believe she wasn't at her apartment, so they just could not find her. And then a judge protected her. A judge said, yeah, you don't have any right to do this. And she got away. She got away scot-free because the administration was doing something that was illegal.
No!
Fucking asshole. Look at this asshole. What do you recommend people do when you see ICE apprehending someone? Look, be safe. I'm not, it's a choose your own destiny type adventure. Definitely record though. Definitely film them. That I can say.
Let him go!
Like, look at this. Look at how crazy this is. This motherfucker is masked, has no indication. You have no way to know if this person is just a kidnapper or actually working for the federal law enforcement agencies. No identification whatsoever. Just a bunch of incompetent racists living out their racist fantasies.
Get off him!
You know, you won't be laughing when you see this kind of vigilante action, seemingly vigilante action, when it happens to you or a loved one, for the record. That's crazy. They're just straight up putting their bodies in between.
Let him go!
Causing them in real time to make the decision, is it worth it? Like, is it worth it? And then I guess they just give up. By the way, again, unmarked vehicle, plainclothes cop, potentially. We don't know. But they, in real time, go, okay, is it worth it? Is it worth it to continue with this apprehension and detainment? Now, the worst aspect of this kind of cruelty for the sake of cruelty methods that you're seeing from ICE is that, like, there are going to be instances where they might be actually, in one of the rare instances, they might be actually trying to apprehend like a pedophile. You know what I mean? But this is what happens when the overwhelming majority of people that you're kidnapping without going through the proper process is that people end up losing confidence in federal law enforcement, especially for ICE in general. It makes total sense for them to not have any confidence. That is precisely the reason why they have to make sure that they're following the letter of the law every step of the way. This is in some ways, this is no different than like having Kash Patel be the director of the FBI and come out without a proper investigation with information that later is proven to be untrue. You can't do that. Every time you do that, you cause people to lose confidence. And a big part of law enforcement is authority. A big part of being able to conduct law enforcement action is by instilling a sense of confidence in these institutions and therefore have the authority to be able to command people. When people lose confidence, when the public broadly loses confidence in a law enforcement agency, these kinds of things will inevitably happen. That's what happens. That's what happens when, like, you know, the overwhelming majority of people that you are apprehending are not actually doing any sort of serious crimes whatsoever. Stuff like this will become common. There's a reason why law enforcement can't behave as a bunch of jackbooted thugs of the state. What a lot of cops don't realize is they're putting themselves in harm's way when they let this kind of shit fly. They think they are unstoppable. They think that they will remain unaccountable, not realizing that this kind of unaccountable, unstoppable violence that happens all over the country is not only going to frustrate people for understandable reasons, but it's actually going to cause them to lose complete confidence in these institutions that are supposed to be instruments of justice. And eventually that leads to complete chaos, complete anarchy. This kind of shit doesn't happen in countries where people have the utmost confidence in law enforcement, where they believe that, like, well, you know, there's some standards. It's not going to be a bunch of like random racist dickheads running around with masks apprehending people because they think that the dude has too much melanin. You know, if that's the overall attitude, then of course people are going to try and do de-arrests, which is a concept that is otherwise unheard of. But because the arrests themselves are being done to people broadly that have not done any sort of significant crimes, the assumption from most Americans is here it is, yet another person that's being falsely kidnapped.